Sinn Féin's Deputy Leader Michell O'Neill is to attend King Charles' coronation on May the 6th. She issued a statement saying the gesture demonstrated a commitment to building good relations and advancing peace. She said, Ciara, I'm an Irish Republican. I also recognise there are many people on our island for whom the coronation is a hugely important occasion. I'm committed to being a First Minister for all, representing the whole community, building good relations between the people of these islands and advancing peace and reconciliation through respectful and mature engagement. I think that's what it is, isn't it? Respectful and mature engagement.
I think she is, in fairness, dead right. I absolutely do. I think it does show respect for unionism and their love of the UK and their identifying themselves as British citizens. I think it shows that. I think it shows, though, even more than that, I think it shows a sense of self, that we are not cowed by the UK's pomp and ceremony, that we are on an equal footing with them as we see ourselves, so that Irish heads of state and Irish senior political figures can go there as guests and not feel some kind of sense of inferiority complex, because that's the flip side of this. If she didn't go, and we're going to be debating this later on because some people think she shouldn't go, if she didn't go, I think that would have come across as churlish, as begrudging, and as displaying kind of an inferiority complex. Now, I have zero interest in the monarchy any more than probably most people in Ireland. I don't particularly have any liking for them. But this is a British occasion that she has been invited to, and I think it would have shown complete disrespect, and I think it would have shown some kind of a chip on the shoulder. The old Irish, we can't get past the 800 years of oppression. And if we're looking forward to good relations in the north and good relations of these two islands, I think it's an important thing, and I think she's right.
I agree with you, and I wouldn't underestimate how courageous and how difficult a decision it is for Sinn Féin.
I'd say they agonised over it.
Yeah, because I mean, King Charles was the head of the parachute regiment, and we know the parachute regiment. We know what happened at Bloody Sunday, so it is hugely emotive, and understandably so for nationalists in the north. So I'm sure not an easy decision for Sinn Féin to make, but I think it's a sign of how far we've come. It's 25 years since the Good Friday Agreement, and we've had Martin McGuinness meeting the Queen and so on, and it's a sign of how far we've come. So I definitely think it's a positive thing. Not everyone agrees, though. We're going to be hearing from Aintu. Gemma Brawley, their deputy leader, definitely does not agree.
Now, Sinn Féin's deputy leader Michell O'Neill will attend King Charles' coronation on May 6th, saying the gesture demonstrates a commitment to building good relations and advancing peace. And Gemma Brawley, deputy leader and Aintu candidate for East Derry, joins us now. Gemma, you were not in favour of this move. Tell us why.
No, I'm not. I would consider myself a Republican. Aintu, the party which I'm deputy leader of, would be, we are fully committed to reconciliation between Catholic, Protestant and the centre. We come from a place where we believe in the elements of Wolfe Tone, from Wolfe Tone to Robert Emmet to Pearse, but at no time in my life did we ever see fit to acknowledge the monarchy, never mind to attend a coronation. I mean, at the core of republicanism has always been that the British monarchy should not have the head of state of any part of Ireland. We believe in democracy, and we believe, people should have the right to vote on that. And if the British people want to choose to accept their head of state in that manner, that's completely up to them. But we have never believed that is how it should be, especially not in modern society. And in particular, I'm a teacher. I was on the picket line yesterday. I'm a special needs coordinator, and the education cuts are tearing us apart. We have 5 million.
Okay, that's
over
a
5 million
slightly separate issue, Gemma. I hear what you're saying.
I'm setting this in context, though, because you've over 100 million as well. So when I say democracy, that's those things are constantly running through your head.
You started off by saying that you're a Republican, which is fair enough, and I think a lot of people in Ireland would think of themselves as some shade of a Republican, either from hardcore to fairly mild. But a lot of people believe in a united Ireland, for example. I think a lot of people in Ireland don't necessarily like the idea of a monarchy. But nonetheless, the UK have one. It is how they choose to run their state. And the head of that state has invited Michael D. Higgins, our president, who is going to the coronation, and has invited senior political figures throughout the UK and Northern Ireland. And I'm even putting them slightly separately, UK and Northern Ireland. And they have invited. Surely it would be disrespectful, not just to King Charles, who I'm not too bothered by, but to unionism and to people of that persuasion, for her to turn it down? I mean, you might say they shouldn't acknowledge the monarchy, but that's kind of ludicrous because it exists.
No, I completely disagree, and I would credit unionists as well with more. I credit them with more. I've actually spoken.
So you think
to some
they'd be delighted if she turned them down?
No, they'll not be delighted either. But I do believe everybody believes you should be true to yourself and true in principle. Diluting down your colours and attending things through tokenism like this is not going to. There's a strategic move to and unionists will see through
Gemma,
that.
is it tokenism? When Martin McGuinness met the Queen, the former monarch in the UK, it was a hugely symbolic moment. It wasn't tokenism. It was a healing moment. I think a lot of people saw it as
very different.
Why?
This is very different for the people in the north. King Charles was the head of the parachute regiment. He was the commander-in-chief of a regiment who gunned down people in the north, who gunned down people in Ballymurphy, Spring Hill and Derry. And back in 2020, when Sinn Féin also met Prince Charles, a group spoke out at that time and said murder was done in the name of the state, which Prince Charles is heir to shake his hand while the bereaved are still hurting is to bring shame. Now, I know some of those families, and I know this will
Can I read you a
majorly.
text that came in from one of our listeners, and it said, I welcome Michell O'Neill.
Sure,
I welcome Michell O'Neill accepting King Charles's invitation. It would not have been an easy decision. We also need to remember that the invitation was from a man whose favourite uncle was killed by the IRA along with 2 innocent teenagers. So within Prince Charles's own family, there was somebody murdered by the IRA. You have to respect perhaps the fact that he is reaching out an olive branch inviting Michell O'Neill and that she is accepting an olive branch. No?
We will respect an olive branch when we see a bill that will allow people there to fight for truth and justice. Okay. We have currently a legacy bill going through.
So when you talk about reconciliation,
and I find the timing of this quite questionable as well.
Well, it's the day of the coronation. The timing of it isn't really open to
the timing
flexibility.
of it against the timing of the legacy bill going through.
The coronation is when it is. Gemma, I put it to you because I respect your point of view. I genuinely do. But I put it to you that you're talking about you're all for reconciliation, just not now.
No, that's completely wrong. I'm for true reconciliation. We don't believe, this is exactly where it aimed to come from, and we've had many, many conversations because of this. True reconciliation, true pluralism does not demand that people dress up in each other's clothes and that they dilute down what they believe. True reconciliation.
Now, in fairness to Michell O'Neill, she is hardly dressing up in someone else's clothes. She's going there as the leader of Sinn Féin in the north. She's going there as somebody who probably should be the first minister if we had a functioning executive.
Yes, but she's going there as a rep. She's going there as the leader of Sinn Féin. She's unfortunately she's not going as anything else other than that, as the deputy leader of Sinn Féin.
Well, but she should be there. She should probably be first minister, but we don't have a functioning executive, as you know. Look, you're dead against it, and you see no value in this as something that would be healing between communities. Because from our perspective in the South, a lot of us would think that if it was a little bit more like Michell O'Neill with a bit of give and take on both sides, we would see a much happier and a much healthier relationship between communities in the North.
Well, no, I think there's a confusion there on the concept then of reconciliation. You can't talk out of both sides of your mouth. And people in unionism, as I've said, I credit with more, and they will. I don't believe they will. This is a strategic move, as I've said, and I don't believe that they will be swung into a further path down the road. I also believe that's everybody's entitled to their view, and that is essentially democracy. Okay. But as I've said, we are all entitled to hold our principles.
All right.
And only through true conversation and respecting those principles and finding the way forward will we ever come to our objective.
Look, thank you for speaking to us this morning on the show. We do appreciate it. That is Gemma Brawley there, who's the deputy leader and Ain 2 candidate for East Derry. I'd love to know what people think about this.